love you, Jesus. We love you, Jesus. Jesus died. Jesus died for you and me. Jesus, Jesus.
When you have the leader of the largest faith group in the world with 1.2 billion Catholics who has referred to women as ribs, not once but twice, then you really have a problem.
2/3 of the world's poor are women and their dependent children.
So you can't preach about inequality, you can't preach about poverty and trying to make people flourish and happy while saying that women are somehow secondary.
And it does damage to women's psyche, young girls' psyches. My mother would, I was the oldest of 4 children. She would say, now what do you think about that homily that the priest had today? How can he understand what it's like to get up at 2 and 5 in the morning and feed the baby? And how does he know what it is to run a household and all that's involved?
I was a Catholic priest for 40 years, expelled 2 years ago because of breaking my silence and calling for gender equality for the ordination of women. When I was in Vietnam in the military, I felt this call to be a priest. I was a male. I became a priest and found the joy, the hope I was looking for in life. Well, years ago, after many years as a priest, I met women who said to me they were being called by God to the priesthood. And I began to ask, well, why not? I don't think you can talk about this issue without addressing power. At the very core of this issue is power, how we, as a patriarchy and all male clerical culture, would see women as a threat to our power.
Women in the early church, women in the Bible were named as deacons. We have women in the early church when it was originally founded who were presiding at the altar and leading church masses. We have women mentioned as bishops, as priests. We have frescoes where you can see women holding up the bread and blessing the bread together. And then around the 12th century it was banned, and it was banned because of the medieval misogynist views. When they banned women from the altar, there were no theological reasons for it.
What I have experienced in the way of rejection, being kicked out over this issue of women's ordination as a Catholic priest for 40 years, it gave me a glimpse, just a glimpse, of what people of color, women, and the large LGBT community have experienced in the way of rejection for centuries in our church and in society. And this is what this is about. It's about rejection. This is not about God. It's about little men with little hearts, little minds, little faith.
When the crowds come, sir, we appreciate you to move over now.